All right, today we're diving deep into the playbook of a character who's just so fascinating, Liu Zhonglai. We're going to break down his journey from the absolute top to the very bottom and really get into the nitty-gritty of what makes him such a master of survival.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? I mean, take away the fancy costumes and the historical setting, and what do you have? You have a story about us. It's about the daily grind, the compromises you have to make, and that quiet strength you find just to get through the day. He's not just some character in a story. He's basically a mirror for our own struggles.
Okay, so let's crack open this playbook. We're going to look at his whole strategy in 5 parts. First, his two-faced life as a servant by day and master by night. Then we'll get into his 3 big lessons: how to hide, when to be ruthless, and this whole T-art thing. And finally, we'll see how it all leads to his epic comeback.
So first things first, to really get this guy, you have to understand the core conflict that he's living. It's this wild duality, right? By day, he's a nobody, a servant you wouldn't even look at twice. But at night, he's pulling the strings, playing this incredibly high-stakes, long game. And really, this is the bedrock of his entire survival plan.
And that brings us to his first big lesson, and man, it's a brutal one: learning how to hide. I mean, think about it. He plummets from the absolute peak of society down to the very bottom. So to survive, he has to literally bury who he is. He's got to hide his ambition, his smarts, and, probably the hardest part, that fire of rage he's got inside.
Just look at this. The sheer scale of this fall is insane. We're talking about going from being the top scholar in the whole empire, like the absolute best of the best, to a stable hand. A stable hand. This isn't just a bad day at the office. It's like your entire identity gets wiped out. For most people, that's game over. But for him, this is where his game begins.
And this is where it gets so real for pretty much all of us. He's bowing, he's taking the heat, he's swallowing his pride, and you just get it. We've all been in that meeting or had that boss where you just have to bite your tongue. He's basically living out the #1 rule of surviving any tough job. You endure, you watch, and you definitely keep a mental list of every single thing.
Okay, but you can't just hide forever, right? Enduring is one thing, but it's purely defense. So his second lesson, it's all about going on the offense. He takes all that pain, all that humiliation he's been bottling up, and he turns it into a weapon. Something sharp, cold, and totally ruthless. This is where we see that fire inside him finally get let out. And you see this shift perfectly in one absolutely chilling scene, that confrontation in the snow. Everything he's been pushing down, it all comes to the surface. But here's the thing, it's not some messy, out-of-control explosion. No, it's calculated, it's focused. And honestly, that's what makes it so much scarier.
And this right here is a really important point. His ruthlessness, it's not just him being a bad guy. It's born directly from his own suffering. It's like he's taken every bit of pain they threw at him and reforged it into a weapon. And that quote says it all. The fire of his revenge burns himself first. You can almost feel that it physically hurts him to be this way.
Seriously, the acting in this scene is just electric. It feels like it jumps right off the screen and stings you. It's this contained explosion of pure rage, and it feels so real, so visceral. You can see the incredible amount of control it takes for him to hold back, and it just proves that, yeah, they might have taken his status, but they never, ever broke his spirit.
All right, now we get to the most complex, the most subtle part of his playbook. It's what fans have nicknamed the T-art. This is where he goes beyond just being ruthless. He learns how to use vulnerability itself as a weapon. It's this incredibly smart strategy of using softness as both a way to protect himself and a way to attack.
So what does this chali chaki actually mean? Well, sometimes the term is used as an insult, kind of like calling someone manipulative. But in this context, it's a genius survival tactic. It's not about being fake. Think about it like this. Imagine someone wearing a full suit of armor. This chali chaki is the skill of knowing exactly when to show a tiny bit of the vulnerable person underneath. Not because you're weak, but to make your enemy lower their guard, or maybe to build a little bit of trust. It's self-preservation, but like PhD level.
And what's so brilliant is how he uses this technique in 2 totally different ways. When he's dealing with his enemies, it's like a needle hidden in soft cotton. The words sound gentle, but they've got a sharp, hidden point. But then, with the heroine, he uses that same vulnerability to show something real, even if he's super cautious about it. It's literally the only way he can try to connect with another person while he's still trapped in all that emotional armor.
And so, this is where it all comes together. The hiding,
the ruthless streak, the tea art. All these lessons weave together for his big comeback. But I want to be clear, this is not your typical revenge plot. His final win is about something so much bigger, so much more profound than just getting even.
I mean, let's be real. This taps into something we all feel deep down. After every time you've been put down or humiliated or made to feel small, who doesn't fantasize about that perfect moment when you get to turn the tables? His comeback isn't just for him. It's for all of us who have ever wanted to see justice served.
But here's the crucial twist, the real takeaway from his whole story. His actual victory isn't about crushing his enemies. The real win happens inside him. It's this awakening where he realizes his goal isn't just to burn everything down. It's about building something new. He learns that you can heal and that there are people in your life who are absolutely worth fighting for. And that really leaves us with the ultimate lesson from Lu Jianglai's playbook, doesn't it? Real strength, real resilience. It's not just about getting through the tough times. It's about enduring, it's about being patient, and it's about keeping your eyes peeled for that one single chance to flip the script. It's all about playing the long game. And that kind of makes you wonder, right? What tables are you waiting to turn?